Are you sure it's recording?
Yeah, this call is being recorded.
Oh, all right.
Oh my God.
Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast, coming at you live
Not really.
from my basement.
Still not live.
But we're all here in the same room. We can literally touch everyone. Plus Nate.
I'm here.
We can touch Nate.
We are all African Americans. Plus Nate.
We have a special guest, and
You just got it.
We fuck with you, Nate. Because Nate rocks with us.
we're doing it old school. We watched the movie all together,
Not but 6 minutes ago.
and now we're recording. This is this is what the Biden administration took from you guys. Thanks to their pandemic.
Yep.
But hi everybody, it's Movie the
Woke mind
Podcast.
virus. The fucking end of this podcast.
Speaking of horrifying things, we watched Children of Men.
It is July and more.
Yeah, it's July and Moore. Julie Moore is in this movie for a lot shorter than I remember her being in. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this on Front Street. I don't remember the majority of this film.
No, it turns out I remember liking it.
I remember not liking it, and now I can't figure out what I didn't like about it. I kind of see. I remember not liking the ending, and I still see where my bitching is, but I don't know why it knocked me into the not liking it camp.
Rewatching it, and it's like, there's no way the future can end up like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
right.
is way too far-fetched.
It's terrifyingly accurate to now. It's
almost quaint.
It's one of those things where it's like it's almost tough to watch because it's so.
The ending is very hard to watch.
But it's like it feels so current.
Yeah,
like,
well,
it really
it
does.
takes place in 3 years from now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 2027 in the movie,
Yeah.
and we're looking down the barrel of this now.
It's
Anyway,
everything that's going wrong just concentrated into one movie.
And British.
Yeah, which is a problem unto itself. But
Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait to talk about
All this beans.
this is
that's a fun kind.
Beans for breakfast.
this is a very nice bounce back from Juniper Lopez, which was
Juniper?
awful.
It was Juniper, I believe.
Juniper Lopez. It's the worst alcohol drink. It was the
All
worst.
gin-based
one.
movies.
Gin is disgusting.
Stupid.
Also, British, right? So that ties that. Yeah. So.
It's thematic.
But what did y'all watch this week? I'm going to turn it over to our special guest, Nasty Nate. What have you watched in the 2 years since you've been on the show?
Every single fucking thing.
I've watched an infinite amount of things in 2 years, but of this week,
Yeah, sure.
I watched 4 things.
Did you actually come prepared?
I did. I opened tabs so I can
Consummate
remember
professional.
what I watched.
All right.
Real Alec Guinness over here.
So
Genuine class.
Here's a ball. Check to bounce it.
one thing I've watched is called The Power of Film. It's a documentary series that's on Max. This guy that teaches film classes goes through like all of the parallels in all classic movies. So, family and
That sounds interesting.
triangular conflicts and things. It's really cool. It's well done. It's a lot of fun to watch, especially if you like movies and you kind of forget why.
It's a docu-series?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
so
like-
Sean needs to watch this.
It's like 6 parts.
He needs to find his smile again, like Shawn Michaels in
Oh, God.
2003.
movies are trash.
Yeah, Sean hates movies, man.
It is nice because it does. It goes back and just kind of says like, these are the things that work, and then you
Right.
start going, oh yeah, I know why.
It's to work.
Your robot doesn't work because there's all these things in there.
One of my favorite Simpsons jokes. That's why your robot doesn't work. See all that stuff inside?
I also watched the classic Paul Verhoeven Starship Troopers.
Oh, hell yeah.
Decided to do that again. Really enjoyed
Are you
it.
playing
I was
Helldivers?
about to ask.
I'm not, but
Yeah, you
that's
should
like
be.
next on my list. I'm in the middle of the still in Baldur's Gate 3 right now.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm way
great.
behind on video games.
Great game.
It took me a year and a half to beat Cyberpunk, and now I'm doing another long game about
Yeah.
shit implanted in your head that you didn't do on purpose. uh,
I never thought of it.
That is
but
true,
you're right.
yeah.
yeah, it's a theme. But Starship Troopers, I think, is like a litmus movie for people, where it's just like however you watch it says more about you than it says about the movie.
Yeah.
People love it, or
Uh,
it's either a masterpiece or they hate it. I don't like the people that hate it.
And the people, if
Historically.
you hate it for the wrong reason, like you can hate it for like, hey, this is like a movie about propping up fascism and how we're slowly descending into it,
but
right?
you can't hate it for that because it's a parody of it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, but
it's supposed to.
people are real dumb. Haven't you
I know
noticed that?
people are
Well,
dumb.
it's like a thing with The Boys too, where now there's discussion about this movie just now, where people are starting to figure out what he's saying and they're not happy about it.
Yeah.
Which is another thing I watched. I watched The Boys, so I'm caught up on that. I watched all of this recent season. The most recent episode is awesome. I won't spoil anything.
They didn't put it all out at once, right? It's week to week.
It's week to week.
Has it been like that the whole time?
I don't remember.
I believe it has
So,
been.
yeah, I think they did that.
They've
But
been drip feeding it.
this episode possibly has the most resonant, real emotional interaction. Because has everybody watched up through 4?
I haven't watched any of
I
the
haven't seen
seasons.
any of the new season.
All right. Well, so Sean, you know, like
But I've seen plenty of
The-
discourse about it, so I feel like
Hugh
I've watched it.
Senior is in the hospital at the end of episode
Yeah.
4. Episode 5 deals with that in a way that's really compelling and I think really pushes this season across the line. And then otherwise, I've watched The Bear, part of it, just
I've been wanting to
couple
watch that
episodes of the
show.
new
I was
season.
just asking Alec about that because everybody's like so in love with it. But what do you think?
I really like it because it's mostly just like long sort of cinematic hangout episodes mixed in with screaming, right?
Mhm.
And so it really, I don't know, it feels emotionally true and honest. The last season finale was the like Christmas party. Is that right, Alec?
I've
you
watched
remember?
the first season.
Oh, okay. Because they do like a flashback family Christmas party thing where like Jamie Lee Curtis is in it and
Meow.
never call
Does she hang dong?
yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis hasn't been meow in 30 years, 40 years.
Hot dog makers.
Yeah.
But The Bear is good. And then the last thing, we started watching Perfect Wife, which is like a true crime series.
That's a man, right?
About it. It's about this like perfect blonde wife who disappears and comes back being like, I was chained up and tortured by
Oh, it's about Sherry
2
Papini?
Hispanic women. Yes,
Yeah.
it is about Sherry
Oh
Papini.
shit!
Really compelling. We watched 2 of the episodes.
What's that on?
It's on Hulu. Yeah.
Well, cool. Anything else? Nasty Nate.
That's all I watched. Yeah. Bring it.
Pass the mic, my friend.
Oh, I'm going
Rattling
to pass
shades.
the mic to Sean.
Oh no.
Oh.
I watched one thing, but I watched with TJ. So
It's
cable. Fuck off, dogs.
I didn't watch anything. I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring.
Oh
So
my
I'm going to
God.
tell you this. Elden Ring, DLC, Shadow of the Earth Tree, shout out. Not bad.
Shout out to Miyazaki.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Alec.
I watched 2 things.
Two things.
First thing,
Hell yeah. It's even better live. I don't know. 2 things live rules.
first thing is called Standing Up, Falling Down.
Oh, I do that all the time. Alec like that one.
It stars Ben Schwartz and Billy Crystal.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's from like 2 or 3 years ago. It's a kind of sad comedy. Ben Stiller. Ben Schwartz is he leaves his girlfriend, leaves his family.
And then
Relatable.
he moves up
Back
at
in.
McDonald's because they didn't serve breakfast.
Sure.
Instead of falling down?
Yeah, standing up, falling down.
They move back.
Oh.
He moves back in with his family, and he encounters Billy Crystal, who's a drunk old dermatologist.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and they just kind of get into like hijinks and become part of each other's lives. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. Ben Schwartz.
Is that
Read
John
us.
Ralphio? Is that
John
someone else?
Ralphio.
Yeah, and Sonic.
He's in he's really funny, but it's in like a subdued role, which is weird because every other role that he's in is basically just John Ralphio, which I love. Billy Crystal's good in it. I can't think of anybody else really.
Is it newer?
It came out a couple of years ago. His dad is the dad from Transformers. I can't remember. It's Kevin something.
Yeah, I can't think
He was
of it.
also in the Julia Dreyfus Veep. He was one of her like campaign managers in Veep, and he's really funny
I've
in
heard
Veep.
that show's good. I've never
That
seen
show
it.
Veep is
Good.
great.
It's really good.
The first few seasons, I never finished it. The first few seasons are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good.
There's a great scene in Veep where she's meeting the Baltimore Orioles, and like she asked this is like her staff, like who the players are, and they're like, yeah, there's the starting pitcher, the starting pitcher, the starting pitcher. She's like, you just think I'm fucking retarded? You don't have more than one player the same name. She goes and meets them, and it's in that like I forget like 2012 era, like it's Tommy Hunter and a couple other actual players that are all starting pitchers. And she's just like, God damn it. It's really funny.
Tommy Hunter.
Tommy Big Game Hunter.
It's the second time in 2 days that guy's been brought up.
The other thing we watched I'm not sure why, but probably just because we were high. Ride Along 2.
Wait, they made a Ride Along 2?
Yeah, Ride Along 1 with Kevin Hart and
Yeah.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. And they made a sequel
Oh my
that's
God.
real bad.
Yeah, go figure.
With Olivia Munn. Oh, yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
like Kevin Hart a lot.
Olivia who?
Munn.
Oh, okay.
I like-
Olivia Munn is like
Yeah.
the lead. Oh my God.
It's just her. It's a one man.
Yikes. When
Olivia.
Olivia Munn is your star power, like oof.
I like Kevin Hart a lot now.
Yeah, he's fun.
Like in a lot of the stuff that he does now. But I never watched his earlier stuff. And seeing that, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
He's just like high pitched, annoying,
He's
whining about everything. Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's so
It's real
bad.
beta.
Ice Cube is basically the same as Ice Cube in every other movie. He's just cool.
yeah. He's just. I mean, he's
Hence
kind
the
of.
name.
He's kind of just Ice Cube in everything. It's
Yeah,
kind
not a
of.
lot of range.
Nah.
That is all I watched. I got to catch up on The Boys. I watched the first three when they released the first three. And I got to watch the next couple. I can't think of anything else right now.
Cool. Down
yeah.
to me. And I watched, real quick before we get into the table thing, I started watching Shogun after Sean's recommendation. Only watched the first episode, loved it. Sean neglected to tell me that there's titty in it.
Oh,
So, I mean,
I don't want to ruin it for you.
through the roof, like hot Japanese broads, like
top tier.
big fan. But yeah, it's really good. And the guy that is the lead, like white guy, is very much like Tom Hardy. Like he reminds me of Tom Hardy. It feels like they wanted Tom Hardy and they couldn't get him, so they got this guy. I forget that actor's name. He's been in a bunch of stuff that I've liked. He's been in a movie that I've mentioned on the show a bunch of times called Calm with Horses, with him and Barry Keogh, however you say his name.
Yeah, that guy.
It was a movie I highly recommend. Like, I don't think anyone saw it. And it's a movie that has like 3 different titles. It's one of those type movies where it's like the
Live, die, repeat.
Well, I think Calm with Horses is like the original name.
Every time you say calm with horse, I think Kamala Harris, and I don't know why.
What'd you fall out of a coconut tree? But no, Calm with Horses is like the original like Irish title. And then like I think it's like it's got an American title that's like Under the Shadows, or it's something like really
Horse to the max.
it's so stupid.
Chill out, horse.
But it's literally just like a low stakes like crime movie. It's really good. But anyway, that's where that actor's from. Shogun's great. I can't wait to watch more of it. But then Sean and I went to the theater,
Oh my god. The
cinema, and
Saw film.
we watched the new Yogurt Lanthimos movie, Kinds of Kindness, which an anthology film. I thought it was fucking brilliant. I think it's absolutely insane, and the fact that you can go to a normal fucking movie theater and watch this movie, and it's a Fox movie, is fucking wild.
Most people make it through the movie.
Oh yeah, we were behind. This couple behind us did not make it.
But he
Oh,
did
they
stop.
left?
Huh?
They did?
He
They
did
do.
pause when tits came on the screen.
Yeah, but like I said to Sean, it was an old white man, and he would have literally died like a Victorian child given Skittles if I told him that it was a trans woman on screen that you saw her tits. But yeah, it's great. It's funny. It's fucked up. It's It's like it's everything. Like it's so all over the place, and it keeps you on your toes because you just don't know what he's gonna do next. Like I just love
Is there a
it.
common, I mean, I'm going to ask a dumb question, but is there like a common thread through the anthology?
Eating. Not really. Yeah, little weird things carry through, like eggs for some reason, are featured, and there's like little tiny things. And
But even like theme doesn't carry through?
No,
I mean, it's
weird.
like it's kind of like I guess like most of his other good movies. It's about how bad relationships are and how like,
I guess
absurd humans and sex are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically all 3 of them deal with like relationships, but like you could kind of boil down like every movie is kind of
Like,
about
like,
relationships.
I was telling TJ, it's one of those movies where you could be asked him like, oh, what is the symbolism? And he's like, symbolism.
Yeah,
Like-
well, that's the thing. Like, I feel like this movie is, like I said to Sean after we walked out of the theater, but like to me, it felt almost like a Dadaist movie where it's like I feel like there could be people that would like try to pick apart the movie and like this is representing of this, but I think like it doesn't mean anything. It's all just absurdism. Like it's just completely like out there. What you see is literally what
It's all base
what
level.
it means. Yeah,
Emma
the
Stone
text
is
is there.
really funny in the movie.
yeah. Emma
Clemens.
he's great.
Everybody's really
Well,
good.
that's the thing too. So it's 3 movies, but in each of the movies, it's the same cast. They just play different characters
That would
in
confuse
each of
the
them.
fuck. Oh, they're gonna Black Coat's daughter me.
I mean, they're separate movies.
Yeah.
They're not the same. They're not the
Too stupid. Like
yeah.
American Horror Story did that, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
took the same cast. and
Yeah,
shit.
I love that idea. I think it's really cool.
It's got that absurd, like, killing of a sacred deer dialogue.
Oh,
Like, it's
yeah.
all very stiff and weird. And I think there's some non-actors in it, possibly.
Oh my
One who
God.
might be the funniest performance I've ever seen in a movie as this police chief.
This super overweight police chief that has this weird kind of like Dusty Rhodes-esque kind of lispy voice, and he's like, "Look at him, the way he strokes his hair like a lover that doesn't know how to like." It's like, what the fuck did they find
It's
this?
like they just fucked for the first time, and he doesn't know how to say that I love you.
Like, where did they find this? There is a joke in this movie that hit me so fucking hard that like I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's like
It also, I think it's the joke I'm thinking of. It wouldn't make sense
yeah.
out of context.
It's a joke in the middle of the set. Well, it's like right in the beginning of the second movie, but it's so fucking funny and so out there. Like it's just, I don't know. I thought it was brilliant. I loved it.
How long is each one of these movies? Like 45 minutes?
It's pretty long. The
Pretty
movie's
long. The
almost 3
movie's
hours.
almost 3 hours long.
Oh.
It doesn't feel long. Like it definitely moves.
So I was telling TJ, like, instead of stretching out one bad idea to like 2.5 hours, just make 3 movies instead.
Yeah. But it's super, like, it's everything I like about his stuff. Like, it's super original. It felt very like him, right? Like, he's the only one that can make this kind of fucking movie. And I think it's funny.
Like Riley Stearns, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny because, like, you know, he's gotten a lot more. He won an Oscar for The Favorite. And then Poor Things was, like, very well received. And Poor Things is still a weird-ass movie. But it's almost a more approachable weird-ass
It's a
movie.
very direct, like
Yeah.
A to B to C movie.
It's just weird things
weird.
happen around the characters. But like, I feel like maybe he was like, oh wait, people think I'm a normal director. No, time to
This one's for the boys.
yeah, it's time to just turn it to 11 and make this
It needs more dogs.
insane. Ironically enough, there is a lot of dogs in this movie. In the second movie, it's kind of a plot point actually.
Yeah.
The dogs, it's amazing. I thought it was great. All 3 of the movies in the movie was great. I loved it. And,
Like I guess I can, not spoilers, I guess, but like there's in one of the vignettes they have a Dodge Challenger.
oh my god, man.
And every time they're driving it, she just like John Wick parks, like out of context.
just
for no
J-turns,
reason.
just for,
yeah,
like-
like it's just constantly. And then she just gets out of the car like normal. It's the funniest.
Yeah, they don't. It's funny because they don't. No one like mentions
Dresses it.
No,
but
not
then-
in a chase or anything. It's just like she pulls into a regular ass parking lot.
But then it does pay off narratively, which is kind of hilarious because it's like, oh, that's why you did that. But it's very, the whole movie's very
Yeah,
clever.
I mean, you got a Hellcat, you got Flex.
But what you see in the trailer, actually, her like hauling ass. But I loved it. I thought it was great.
It's so much fun.
Would I like it?
Maybe.
Would Alec like it?
No.
I think Alec would like it.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well,
should
there's
not.
nothing like really like it's not like Dogtooth. There's no Dogtooth issues in it.
There's some sexual assault stuff that happens in the movie.
Yeah, but just regular adult on adult sexual assault. That's fine.
I don't know. I don't think he would.
What about
Nothing against.
We're gonna
One's gonna watch it anyway. Yeah.
Nate would like it.
what I like about
Nate would.
Lanthimos
Nate's a
is
fucked up guy. He doesn't look like it.
There's a lot of darkness back
But
there.
Nate's like a David.
Behind that smile,
Nate's like a David Lynch.
Behind that smile and those dead eyes.
Nate's like fucking Blue Velvet. Like everything's fine under the surface.
Zack Snyder's Blue Velvet.
yeah, everything slows down.
Oh, me and
sometimes.
Sean were pitching. Zack Snyder says that Blue Velvet's his favorite movie. And we're like, what the hell would that look like?
A lot
Like
of
what?
explosions.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I like about Lanthimos is he's doing the messing with expectations thing
Oh yeah.
around movies. Like, I haven't seen this yet, but you talking about that like car parking move. It feels like the sort of thing where, because Lanthimos likes to show you like, hey, these are things that are normalized in movies,
Yeah.
air quotes. But what if we applied them to real life, and then we apply writing around real life to
He
that?
thought way deeper than I did.
So he like fucks around with it, you know? in a way that Ryan Johnson doesn't, right?
Right.
Ryan Johnson plays with expectations in a very like.
He disappoints you.
Well, I think he takes pleasure in the idea that you're
That's what you should
disappointed,
say to your
right?
kids when they do something wrong. Be like, you have subverted my.
That's hilarious. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting movie. I feel like I've already seen people talk like it's a very divisive
The
movie.
fact that it's widely released and like the trailer tells you nothing.
Nothing.
So like,
But it just came out this week, right?
Yeah.
Is it gonna make a longer run than Boy Kills
it will
World?
not make it to the end of the day.
It makes it into the
I mean, again, like Sean said this, and he's totally right. But like if you don't know his work, like I don't even know why you'd go see the movie. Like the old
Maybe just
couple,
like kindness.
the old couple that like walked out, like what did they expect? Like you know what I mean? Like
The guy.
I mean, you want air conditioning at this time
That's
of year,
fair,
right?
that's also
probably
true.
what
Maybe
goes
they're
on.
on theater. Like, when's Mad Max showing up?
But you know, it's like it's a bad sign when you walk in and it's the shitty chairs.
oh yeah,
yeah.
we were in a theater that like I
The
didn't even
rumble
know
seats.
I didn't even know was a theater. Like it's like tucked away in the corner. I was like, what the
You
fuck?
didn't fold the chair.
Like we
yourself.
walked right past it. We're like, wait, that's a theater? Yeah, it had the old seats and
Ew.
everything. Yeah,
Ew,
it was at the mall. It was at,
fucking poverty theater.
Right.
but
You
yeah,
paid full price for this.
no, I'm on the AMC subs list.
Stubs.
Yeah, I'm an A plus member or whatever they call it.
AMC
But let
Stokes.
me pick a bone with them real quick. So you can see up to 3 movies a week, right?
Right.
But you can't get 2 tickets at once.
Oh, right. Because you could just say, just give me my allotment.
How stupid is that?
That's
Yeah,
dumb.
yeah. How stupid is that?
Fucking dumb.
If I can see 3 movies a week, then I should be able to go to one screening and get 3 tickets.
You should be able to buy 3 seats to one film
Yeah.
Exactly.
and spread
But
out.
you can't. You only give you 1. I'm like, that's fucking cheap.
Mm.
Anyway, but yeah, it's great. Go see it or don't. I mean, I don't know.
Or don't. It sounds like you and Yorgos Lanthimos have the same opinion.
I mean, again, it's not for everybody, so I can see people like absolutely hate it.
It's got like a 40% on
Yeah.
Fandango.
What's his RT score, though? It's probably through the roof.
No, it's like
No.
60 to 70.
RT's not
fresh.
for like RT's not for
Fresh.
fucking nerds. It's always like, oh, it's too woke.
What's the film weeb RT then? We need to have
Letterboxd.
Letterboxd. Okay.
Letterbox. Yeah, what's the letterbox for? It's probably very
A
high.
trillion.
This is not, I mean, it's a letterbox ass movie.
It's a prestige.
Also,
picture.
I mean, it's kind of a spoiler, but like in a vacuum, it doesn't make any sense. There's a Ronnie James Dio joke in the movie that killed me. I
Yeah.
thought it was amazing. Best use of Rainbow in the Dark ever.
It's not even in like the Rotten Tomatoes like homepage. Like you're gonna actually search for it and
There you
know
go.
out presently.
There you go. All right. Well, I guess that's it. That's everybody, right? We did it.
All right, guys, good job.
All right.
Yep. See you guys.
Break.
Children of Man
Children of Men.
or Men. Why do I keep doing that?
Men.
It's the prequel, Children of Man.
Children.
It's a-
Oh. Wait, which one is it? It's Children of Men. Is it? Not?
I keep
It's
doing
men.
that. It's
It is
men. Yeah,
Men.
it's Children of Men.
Men.
Not Child of God,
Movie
which is
TJ swore was
yeah.
bad.
I never said it was bad. I said I didn't like. I said there was parts that I didn't like, but I still don't agree.
In
with
10
it.
years, we'll rewatch a Book of Eli and see if you've come to the right opinion on that.
A bookie.
No,
No,
I still don't
I
like
still
that movie.
Oh.
That movie does suck.
Kids
I'll
and
stand by
fellas.
that.
They're equal.
Fair enough. You don't want a Braille Bible?
No.
A Bible?
Rival.
All right, it's Children of Men. Movie opens, and young Rocco,
It does.
young Ricardo,
Baby Diego.
Baby Diego,
I was like, where are you going? with
Young
this?
yeah, Baby Diego,
NBA young boy.
yeah, Baby Diego. You got Clive Owen, who doesn't get enough good work because he just destroys. Let's just put it out on Front Street. Destroys it in this movie.
He's great.
He's out there getting a latte or fog or whatever you get in London.
No, he's just getting like a
He's getting black
not
coffee.
black coffee because he doesn't take cream or sugar. That's how come he don't get exploded.
Yeah, so then he's there in the local tea house, and you find out that the youngest man on Earth was 18, and he got Selena-ed, and now everybody
How long were you
else,
sitting on that?
most of I said it earlier and it didn't get a laugh.
I didn't hear it.
I ran it back. So you're in a world where they haven't had a child. A child has not been born in the entire world in 18 plus years, and now the youngest one has been murdered. All of society is basically on the brink of collapsing because everyone's lost all hope. Because who gives a shit? And I think that is actually very eloquently said later when he's talking to his cousin who's an art collector. He's like, in 100 years, no one's gonna fucking look at this.
Yeah.
Like, what does this matter?
Because I don't think about it.
Yeah.
Well, there's also possibly World War III and Brexit have happened.
Well, so the rest of the world is like there's like Paul Verhoeven adjacent advertisements on the buses and mass transit about how every other nation has fallen, but Britain prevails. But Britain's holding on by a fucking thread because it looks like Half-Life 2.
Yeah, and
Like-
they make reference to like some kind of catastrophic event happened in America, but they don't get into it.
And they don't say what happened in New York. But so Clive Owen's out here just kind of living his like
Getting
existence,
loose.
like why bother? And
Yeah.
after baby Diego's death hit him, he goes to see his pillhead boss who lives in a closet, and he's like, "Hey, can I, Steve, can I have the rest of the day off on PTO because I'm real sad about this baby?" And he's like, "Yeah."
But he's also real sad about almost getting blown up.
yeah. He doesn't mention that. Do you think that gets you a little PTO, like almost being
doesn't
part of
care
a
about
bomb?
He doesn't give
Diego.
a shit about Baby
No,
Diego.
Yeah, no, he doesn't give a
Yeah.
shit about
The thing
it.
that's
But I
cool
would have
about-
gone to my boss and been like, "I almost got exploded this morning."
We almost get exploded all the time.
Yeah. Go back to your energy factory.
Well, the
So-
thing that's cool about this movie is Clive Owen's character arc is he's dead at the beginning of the movie and he's dead at the end of the movie.
Spoilers.
He lives in between.
Yeah,
That's
true.
it. And he only comes
Nate's
to
so
life at
good
the
at
very-
movies.
Yeah, you're good at movies. Get your own show.
Nate's really good at movies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, anyway,
That is-
Nate.
that's exactly right.
So now he goes and visits Maud Cocaine in the woods, who is living there, smoking weed, growing weed, listening to thrash metal with his, I assume, former photojournalist wife who had been tortured into a coma.
This movie's so good at setting up backstory just with photo montages
Yeah, this is-
and things
this
like
is
that.
like
Like
the-
you learn a lot about things in well-placed exposition.
This is like the film school example of like show don't tell. Because
Yeah.
they don't really, there's not like a ton of exposition.
and
in
when
this
they
movie.
do tell, it's done well.
Like, they
when you
only-
get Clive Owen's backstory.
The Clive Owen exposition happens in a very natural and like appropriate
There's a
way.
couple, if a very minor nitpick, I gotta pick something. There's a couple like exposition lines that Michael Caine has that are a little like, okay,
A little on the
like,
nose,
Yeah.
little ghost story.
But you gotta have something.
Yeah. So this is Michael Caine, who lives in like seclusion, like hidden
He lives
out in the
Endor.
woods. Yeah, and he's not far from Brex Hill. We're in a political climate where I don't know if they're being blamed for it or they're just a scapegoat or they just hate him.
I mean, that's the same thing, right?
Right, I guess. But like any non-British citizens are being rounded up and deported, and
But-
sometimes deported from this mortal
That's
plane.
a trope that goes in British media for a really long time. It's also like the side plot of V for Vendetta, like a
Yeah.
bunch of other shit.
So
This is all post 9/11.
Yeah.
The pandemic that's happening in this is infertility mixed with Homeland Security as a concept, right? Because Homeland Security is in this movie.
right,
It doesn't exist in the UK the way that it did in the United States, or does in the United
Yeah.
States.
right.
But it's seen everywhere, which means that has conquered the planet.
Right.
That
So
idea.
that idea is
They
like
also had a
pervasive.
flu pandemic at some point.
Yeah,
Yes.
in 2008.
Mhm.
So this movie, me and TJ were very Last of Us. Like Last of Us is like must have been.
I don't know how I ever put it together, but like this is like Last of Us like not stole, but like this is very
Borrowed
Last of Us.
heavily.
Yeah, it's borrowed heavily from even the look, the plot, the look,
the
like
vibes.
the whole like
The vibes
Like,
are in shambles.
on the
It's awful.
on the like the military, like the way everything is laid out, it's very Last
All
of
that
Us.
like almost like improvised, the cages, the gates, all that shit. looks
Yeah,
like
oh
it's-
yeah.
So so London or wherever he is in shambles. He's hanging out with Michael Caine, whatever. He's going to go get another latte, hopefully not to get exploded. And then Charlie Hunnam and some guys grab him and take him to like their secret fish base, and they are part of La Resistance. And that's where
They are friends.
They are part of La Resistance.
The
Yeah.
tag team.
the Le Poisson, that means fish. And they, you're introduced to this month's namesake, Julianne Moore, and Julianne Moore. She
she's
is
named.
Julian in
She's-
the movie,
Diabolical name for a woman.
Right.
Julian.
right?
Yeah.
So you find out that she's been, and once again, they sort of just tell this only by saying the police pictures of you don't do you justice.
Yeah.
Like you find out that she is like the super terrorist
Right.
that
Yeah.
the government has been looking for God knows how long, right? And then you find out her and Clive Owen. Well, you learn this through a picture at Michael Caine's house. they were a thing and they
Right.
had a baby.
They had a-
And obviously that baby's not in the picture anymore. And she's like, I need your help to help get someone out of the country and out to the coast. And he's like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, you have a cousin, you know. So he goes and
He worked for the Ministry of Paperwork.
yeah. So she's gonna pay him 5,000 pounds or whatever. He's like, fine, fuck it, I'll do it. And he goes and he visits his like posh cousin who lives in like a power plant, right? And he's like collecting all the art, and that's what we were saying earlier. He's collecting all this art from. He's got Michelangelo's David like in the middle of his foyer.
He's got that Pablo Picasso painting.
Guernica?
Yeah, that's it.
Like
Guernica in his dining room.
I mean, he talked about how he couldn't get like the things he couldn't get that were like, you know, that had been already blown up. So you just know what kind of state the world's in, right?
He's like the CEO of Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
So he convinces him to get him the papers, and he's like, all right. He goes and sees the resistance again. He's like, hey, I got, you know, I'm gonna do it. You here's the papers, but I have to go with. And they give him this elaborate plot to go dog racing, and he meets up with everyone, and then he finds out that he's gonna be smuggling this young woman who is pregnant, and to the best of everyone's knowledge, she's a refugee. She's a legal immigrant.
At this point, you don't know.
No, you don't know. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
He's like, this woman's got to go. She's fine. They start driving through the woods. They fall under attack by the Picts or the Romans. I don't know who, but they launch a burning, rolling car. in front of them.
Visigoths.
Yeah. A Gaul has fallen. Julianne Moore exits the month.
She's
Yeah.
unceremoniously dispatched.
Which
Yeah.
Guggs did come in right with the right timing with. Do we have to stop watching the movie now?
And I thought she was in this movie till the end.
So did
if I had remembered it.
I thought she was in this much longer.
So also, like, we'll talk about this a lot, I'm sure, when we're doing a breakdown, but like the scene in this car, the shot in this car,
That
like the
sequence is
oneer.
so cool.
All of the there's so many everything in this movie is like super long, complicated ass takes. Like that's the entire movie. It's just these very long, ridiculously planned out.
Just
takes.
so meticulous. I could not imagine.
and executed perfect.
How much rail did they have to lay for these fucking
I have
shots?
no fucking clue.
For all of the meticulousness of all these shots too, like everything makes you feel panicked the whole time.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's a pressure cooker.
Like
This
you're
whole
constantly
movie.
anxious because it's got that horror movie energy where you're so close to one person you can't see
There's
anything else.
no sound. There's no any music is diegetic, right? There's no soundtrack, right?
And mostly the movie is shot like super close. Like you're very
Or you get like the RE4 camera angle with
yeah.
I was calling Gerard Butler. I would love to see the storyboards for this. This is a movie I'd like the art book for. I'd like the production book, see the storyboards, like, because they have to be insane.
They'd be nuts. So they get attacked in the woods. Julianne Moore gets got. They fly. They fly, you fools, and get away. They voodoo bury her in the woods
also,
after
she
they
gets got in like the worst.
She catches one in the
She
throat.
dies slowly, like getting shot in
She
the
has a
throat.
gurgle death.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And they clip two cops, and then they keep going. They go back to the fish house. I'll call it the aquarium, and they have to retreat. But there's a scene where they're doing like the voodoo burial of Julianne Moore in the woods in these tall, like kind of pine barrens. And so Clive Owen's been drinking the entire. The first thing you see him do is he gets a cup of coffee, pours some scotch into it. He's always hitting the bottle.
Well, like Nate said, he's dead,
He
right?
gives
Like, he
up,
doesn't
right?
care. He's like he is like just resigned to die. Like he doesn't give a shit about anything.
Right, because they're always like, "You smoke? That'll kill you." It's like, I'm counting on it. Not working.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're also in a world where the government hands out suicide kits.
Yeah.
And it's advertised. What is it called? It's like Quietus?
Yeah,
Or something. It'll just send you
Also,
off.
it's also implied by the fish who were deemed the terrorists that the terrorist acts are actually being carried out by the government to like basically blame them for what they're doing.
Right,
But then
to
again,
prop up support.
but as you find out later on, like who knows if they're
There's a lot
telling
of
the
dog
truth or not
wagging.
either.
Well, even Michael Caine says every time one of their politicians gets in trouble, another bomb goes off.
Right.
We
yeah.
get that in voiceover before we even see him. But yeah.
So,
And we got that in New York in 2008.
so there's a scene where they're doing this, and Clive Owen just wanders off, just being like a stoic British, whatever, about to hit the bottle about a last cigarette, and he just he's still got Julianne Moore's blood on him. He just breaks down next to this tree, and it is a masterclass in fucking display of emotion. Like,
Yeah,
it
it's
is
baptism.
It's fucking
Awakens.
awful. And then he fucking tightens up and he fucking goes and they go to the
Stiff upper lip.
Yep.
Yeah, that was waiting for somebody to say it.
they go to the rebellion hideout at this farm, and then it's revealed several things are revealed. It's revealed that this young refugee woman they're smuggling,
Possible sex worker?
possibly she said she got lots
she
of
doesn't know their name. Yeah.
right.
That's what I think they were hinting at.
But also sort of like another kind of like a Christ Mary Magdalene illusion, right? Like
You know, Mary Magdalene did give birth to Jesus.
I know, but she was a whore. But she, you know what I'm saying? There's lots of
I
like,
I'm just busting the
the
balls.
lowly, the blah blah blah. So anywho,
I like
She-
the Gospel of God.
yeah, the
gospel.
whores will inherit the earth. So
Gospel.
he finds out this young woman is pregnant. So the first pregnancy anyone's seen in who knows when. And then you also find out that, and I'm going to look up his name because I feel like we've been fucking butchering it the whole time.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Thank you very much. He's like the
edgy you for $5.
so he was the second in command of the fish, the rebellion.
Yeah, and the
And-
fish and Luke and the gospel and all that shit.
So he,
I never even put that together.
so he,
I like
Charlie
the
Hunnam.
Destiny.
Charlie Hunnam dreadlocked Charlie Hunnam shows
Who
up
is
on a
excellent.
motorcycle. Who is excellent in this movie?
well, because he barely has anything to say.
Right.
Yeah, he's just kind of.
And he does it in whatever goofball accent he actually
And
has.
he's not really in frame fully.
Yeah,
like he's
no.
almost never in focus. It's
No.
like he's in the movie but not in
It's
the
a role
movie,
he's born to play.
which makes it work.
Yeah.
So they've elected Luke, who is he is now he's now the leader of the fish, and then Charlie Hunnam shows up all fucked up. He's like, they fucking hurt. You find out that they were part of springing this trap on them in the woods, and the goal was to kill Julian to make a power play so that Luke would be the leader now, and now they can use the baby for their own devices to promote the uprising, right? So this is overheard by Clive Owen.
It's
Clive
also,
Owen
I'm realizing now roughly the side plot of Blade Runner 2049.
basically,
Yeah.
So then Clive Owen overhears all this, and he takes the pregnant young lady and her basically nursemaid and runs away with them in what is another very tense, very Last of Us stealth mission to get away. And
But
then
so cool because he meticulously
He
takes
takes
the
apart
keys
the other-
and takes
yeah,
apart the other
yeah.
cars so that they can't come
realistic
after him.
sabotage,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
Super cool.
he gets
Sabotage.
away and he goes to Michael Caine's house, and they're trying to figure out what the hell to do. And they're like, okay, we got to get to the coast. We got to get to fucking the Human Project. There's this boat that's going to meet us.
Which also I think is cool that there's questions whether or not the Human Project is actually real.
Right, it's like
Like
the green
they-
place in like Fury Road,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
right.
Well, it plays into all the religious stuff in this,
Yeah,
right?
sure,
Because she alludes to a virgin birth being the thing at first before she says that's a
It's a
joke.
joke, yeah.
And then, it's all about faith in tomorrow. Literally, the boat's name is Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a little on the nose, but yeah.
but it's kind of nice.
It's
It's
good.
kind of nice. it's sweet.
It's kind of nice to believe in something,
Yeah.
even if it's
I
only a
would do
movie.
that.
I wouldn't
I
recommend.
wouldn't know. Have no idea.
So
I believe in Gunnar Henderson.
they get to Michael Caine's house. You have some like nice moments there. You find out some exposition about the past between Julian and Theo. Theo is not Gerard Butler's name.
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen's
Owen.
name. You find out about that they were protesters together and they fell in love and they both were fighting for the same thing, and then they had a kid and then that kid was taken from them through the flu
What were
pandemic.
they protesting, do you think?
I imagine this-
WTC?
I
What?
imagine
assume it's
this
the
whole-
Iraq War and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I think
Well, there
that's-
was even a
There's Iraq side.
there was
No
a sign
war in
that said
Iraq.
No war in Iraq.
But
or
like
anything.
there was this thing where it was talking about. I mean, so you figure there hasn't been a baby in 18 years, right?
Yeah.
By year 2, they probably figured it out, right?
Right.
And by they probably have like this thing with immigrant, everything else. The world is falling down around them. So you can imagine that they had been protesting, a larger part.
Because 18 years ago in the movie would be 2009.
Yeah.
So if they met each other in like 2003,
Well, no, so
something.
the flu pandemic happened in 2008.
Right.
Yeah. So 2006, the baby would have been born.
Yeah.
So 2005. Yeah. War on Terror shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's whatever it is. I'm sure that there was they were protesting the government's probably heavy-handed draconian whatever at the time, and that unified them. Then he lost his way after they lost their child, but she radicalized and went the other way, right? So anyway, They're hanging out. They're like, all right, listen, we're going to get you to the coast. There's a guy so he is not far. Michael Caine's house is not far from Brex Hill, which is a refugee camp. And he has a connection there with one of the officers. He sells them pot. So he's like, listen, I've talked to my guy. We can get you into Brex Hill. We can get you out to the coast. Here's how you're going to do it. And I'll set you all up. So everything's Gucci. And then the thrash metal perimeter alarms go off. And he's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Loads them in the car, sends them out in the woods. And then he, in a phenomenally sad scene, suicides his catatonic wife with quietus. And then as Clive and the dog, and as Clive Owen, the nursemaid, Clive Owen looks on from a ridge. He watches Luke and Charlie Hunnam's character basically torture, interrogate, murder Michael Caine.
Yeah, there's a shot in this where Michael Caine is shot in the hand. That like they did a practical effect where his hand kind of explodes and it looks disgusting.
Right.
Like, not the very least movie's so fucking good.
It's super good.
There's
It's way better than I remember.
There's a lot of really.
I remember liking it, but I didn't remember being this fucking.
The fucking the practical effects in this movie, like all the I don't know what I would like war wounds, like all that stuff looks so like I mean it looks disgusting, but like it's so real.
Yeah.
Like it feels so real. Like
It's almost like the opening of Saving Private Ryan.
I mean I think it's like better, believe it or not. But yeah, it's similar in that tone. Yeah.
A lot of practical effects, a lot of squib work, a lot of like debris and shit.
Yeah, and you know, I'm sure we'll get into it later, but like the way it's shot in the natural lighting and just like again, like we said, it's like very close quarters and at most times like everything feels very grounded. Like everything feels very like lived in.
Well, it doesn't rely on like big set piece bullshit that we've gotten so used to in all the movies.
Also like scant use of music.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like
So they get away and they're going to meet up with this guy, Sid, who refers to himself in the third person the entire time, at an old defunct elementary school, because why you need elementary schools anymore? Everyone can buy cigarettes at this point. Then you get what I think was an interesting little bit of backstory from the nursemaid's point of view about how like at the beginning of this.
Yeah. She realized she didn't have any appointments.
Right. Like that was actually fucking brilliant too.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And like having it in elementary school that doesn't matter anymore was brilliant, right? Like
the only thing that makes it like, and again, this is a nitpick, is how would they know? Like it doesn't have the ubiquity of social media where everybody would have figured it out in like a week versus.
Right. Well,
like,
social media didn't exist at that time, right? So, or not in the way that it does now. So yeah, Twitter would have loved this. So they meet up with Sid, and the idea is to get arrested and to get themselves into Brex Hill. So you're working through. Now this is when the movie, like a sad movie, gets sadder. Like
real quick. So this got nominated for Best Cinematography and lost to Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh.
And it got nominated for Best Editing, lost to The Departed.
I don't know about that.
It's hard to make that rad movie.
Well,
Good editing.
So they go into Brex Hill, and it is just horrific. It is concentration camp-esque.
It's Gaza.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's Gaza. It's Gaza.
That's the saddest part.
That's the saddest part. Like, you don't even. It's not even. It's just regular old. So then they're working their way through this awful fucking just the in-dock. It's the fucking worst thing ever. And they work your way into this basically prison city. And they're supposed to find this gypsy woman, and she's going to take care of them.
Well, in the process of this, in the bus, her water
breaks. Right, she's going through contractions. So they get to this fucking terrible burnout apartment building. Clive Owen has to wash his hands in a bucket of piss, and then give birth.
And he pours the rest of his bourbon all over his hands to sterilize them.
And right, so that's him giving up the bottle, right?
That's
part of his
last
whole
sacrifice
right
for the thing. Yeah.
So they give birth to this baby, and it's like an actual newborn infant, whether it's a puppet or CGI or whatever.
Is part of the movie.
Yeah, but it's not like in every other movie where you see him give birth to an 8 or 9
It looks
month old
great.
child.
Like it's hard to tell if it's CGI or what, but it looks great. Like however they did it, like it looks wonderful.
So they give birth to the baby. Clive Owen's got his faith in humanity back, maybe, and they're in this refugee camp. Like, all right, we gotta get out of this boat tomorrow. We're gonna be okay. And then there's a big knock on the door the next morning, and Sid shows up, and he's like, listen, the fish know where they are. The government's looking for them, The fish have attacked the refugee camp, blown a hole in the wall. Refugees are escaping. So the government's coming in hot. The refugees and the uprising, it's happening. It's happening right now. The pressure cooker has cooked. But Sid,
I want that to be a very serious news broadcast at some point. The pressure cooker.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pressure cooker has cooked.
So Sid shows up. He's like, Sid realizes that, you people are being looked for by the government and the fishes and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then he sees the baby.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I forgot how this worked. I was kind of hoping he would be part of like the shepherding arc.
Yeah, no.
But no, he turns into a scumbag.
He has
And then
he has
catches
a heel turn.
Yeah, so then he catches a diehard in the mouth.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And so now they are trying to escape through a legitimate war zone. And it is brilliantly
It is
done.
a very poignant and sad scene from Universal Soldier Regeneration.
There's people out in the streets. There's refugees armed, marching, chanting. There are tanks in the street, blowing up buildings indiscriminately.
Shout out to Black Hawk Down and everything, but this might be the best urban warfare
It's up there
ever.
It's like you were on Clive. It is Resident Evil. You were on Clive Owen's shoulder this entire time. And it is tense and it is fucking scary.
And again, it's super long. The take just keeps going and going and going.
And it's not without having to have something set up or something explode. It's not him walking down a hallway.
From about the time Michael Caine gets it, the movie takes place essentially in real time.
Yeah. Basically. So he's just getting shot at. Him trying to protect. So the fish have shown up and they have taken. Her name is Key, and the baby. They've taken them from Clive Owen. And he's trying to hunt them down through the war zone. He catches up with them. Charlie Hunnam gets Guy. He gets her. And then Luke, the now leader, his little soliloquy before it ends for him is also fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
As he's there's fucking bullet holes going around his head.
Fire,
He stops and fires a grenade launch. And you know what? He's kind of like Thanos because what he's saying ain't wrong. Right?
I think they're trying to make a point about kind of blind ideology here too. Because he's talking about the baby and he says he, and it didn't even stop to occur to him
that it could be a girl. Right.
But it being a girl has greater implications.
Right.
Because if one woman is fertile and she gave birth to a girl,
child,
we could have a chain, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Cut for edit.
Let's move on.
So he gets away, gets through the war zone, now you're, and this is sort of where it's the message of, we shouldn't, disrespect refugees and immigrants because they are the ones that basically, instead of trying to, actually it's just this quiet, beautiful moment where everyone stops fighting for a second and they realize there's a baby here. And it's fuck. It's the soldiers stop, the revolutionaries stop, everyone stops. And they just get almost ushered out of the battlefield until someonene's go ahead.
Much worse movie. This is the end of the movie.
Right, the baby brought peace.
Right, everybody just stops and whatever happens, and everybody's oh, cool, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, this one they're game back. I think Sean said game on, and then people start shooting. They got tanks.
All it takes is one.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So they make it down to the water, and then they row out to this buoy where they're expecting to find this boat called the Tomorrow. And it's kind of quiet and foggy and sad and London and dreary. And Clive Owen's Key starts freaking out, saying, "Oh my God, I'm bleeding all over the place." And Clive Owen's like, "No, it's me. It's me. They got me." And then he is coaching her through how to quiet this baby down.
Terrible dad.
And he's having this
very,
moment
very
of
sad dad.
being a dad, and then he's fucking gone. And then the boat gets her, and that's the movie.
Are you all right?
No, it's fucking me up a little bit just talking about it. So,
let it out, brother.
Yeah, no, I mean it's
fucking sad. They're trying to
it's his heaven moment though, because he gets to be a dad again.
That is true. Yeah.
He gets to be a dad one last time before he goes, and then he gets to get free of all
kid on his terms as opposed to.
And then she names the kid after his kid.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
It got me. That's it.
That's good shit.
God damn you, Alfonso Cuarón. Tormenting me from beyond the grave. I don't know.
He made a movie last year. He's still alive.
Dead to me.
He peaked. No, movie's fucking good.
Dude's a good director.
So that's it. That's Children of Men, a movie that I thought I remembered liking, and I think I never understood like I think I was watching it through like young eyes
Well,
before,
the problem is you're watching it as a cautionary science fiction tale,
as opposed
and now you're
to.
watching it as a documentary.
Yeah. Well, I also don't think I don't think I fully grasped all of the sort of political intrigue and like double crosses before.
Yeah.
I thought they were just like
But also,
getting a woman out of a war zone.
like when I saw this in the theater.
Mhm.
So it was in 2006.
Yeah.
I was
25.
20 years younger.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to see things go boom.
Yeah. I just want to see explosions, like
Well,
gunfights,
and
right?
it's 20 years less movies you've watched because this movie rewards you for understanding how movies work.
The
Right?
one who rewards you.
Yeah. And now we can pretend like we didn't explain it. Go back and edit this
Vincent-
part out.
Way ahead.
He stepped on my lines. I was gonna say, I'm just making
I'm cutting all the Nate stuff out.
Like the time
I'm cutting all the Nate stuff
we can't
out.
talk about-
The baby's gonna get a lot of sex line out.
Jonah Jameson was in that Spider-Man movie. You had to keep beeping it.
Oh yeah. That was the most work I put in the show in years.
This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I've loved it
I
since
think I
I saw it
agree
the
with you.
first time. And like I didn't even see it in the
I
theater. I,
agree.
saw it
It's
in
one
like
of your favorite movies
2008.
of all time.
Alec, is your favorite part of this movie that it's Nate's favorite movie?
I mean, yeah,
Do
I get on board with that.
Yeah.
I can see why this would be somebody's favorite.
you like the amount of dogs? You know, I'm glad that you looked up the book.
Dog
This is
budget?
no. You looked up
Dog budget.
the book that this is based on because I feel like because you said in the book that they like act like dogs and cats are like the babies, and I feel like the movie doesn't ever say that, but there are like dogs and cats in almost every scene of this
And a lot of
movie.
them being like carried and like,
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, there's also a zebra. It's a very Android Dream of Electric Sheep.
It's
the little one.
What's it, AJ?
It's AJ.
It's Baby Diego.
Baby Diego. But yeah, I was wrong. I don't know what I'd love to go back to when I left the theater when I was.
Old 25-year-old
Yeah.
Edgelord TJ Baby's
Well-
okay.
Well, that's probably I still feel that
I
way.
want to hear Alex thoughts because he hasn't said much during the whole shebang bang.
Yeah, I'm just really tired.
All right then.
Nailed it.
This movie is tremendous. I liked it when I saw it the first time. I remember, I think I saw, wow, ouch, bit my tongue.
Oh my God.
I think I saw it with TJ. I think I saw it with TJ. 'cause
Probably.
When we left the theater, I remember liking it a lot and not understanding why he didn't like it.
Yeah,
But also knowing that TJ is much deeper into like movies than me.
But you were wrong.
He's smart.
You're wrong on both
smart. He
counts.
must know
He's
why.
got TV just watched a lot.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
I mean,
Mile wide.
well, this movie is tremendous. It's super engaging from beginning to end, and it is
Hey, move the
It-
clip.
moves. It's over before you even realize almost that it started.
Yeah,
Like-
I agree. The pacing is
This movie is
unbelievable.
tremendous.
It's an hour 45. There's not a wasted moment in it.
No, there's no fat.
Totally agree.
But I don't want anything added to it either.
No.
Yeah.
I am gonna.
No, it doesn't need anything.
I'm gonna find the book and read the book.
Do.
It said from what I had read about it on Wikipedia, the book is kind of written like not like World War Z.
Oh,
Is it like
a journal- like journal entries?
like his
Oh,
journal
yeah.
entries.
Epistolary, yeah.
Yeah, which
Whatever that means.
Epistolary? Is that what that's
It's like when you use like kind of real documents, like newspaper.
I got
Like
it.
all the Ken Burns Civil Wars are
Kinda like-
epistolary
kinda like
documentation.
Mary Shelley's French.
Dracula?
I got a couple
Dracula was-
of
yeah,
Dracula
Dracula was
upstairs.
written like that.
Mhm.
Also, Chuck Palahniuk's Rant. It's kind
Oh,
of
his-
no, it's that's
book's-
an oral history, and that's slightly different.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of recordings or
It's basically like told through
Bits and
interviews
pieces.
and stuff.
Yeah,
That book
yeah.
is not very good.
It
It's one of his weaker books.
The movie looks great. There's probably 3 or 4 lights in the entire movie. So much of it's shot outdoors.
Well, those lights are on end tables. Like
Yeah.
they are like.
There's like a really, speaking of lights, there's this scene like early on when Clive Owen gets like black bagged and he gets into that room
Oh,
and they
yeah,
have
the
that like
spots,
that ultra like orange light on. It looks so fucking cool. Like it's such a great moment. And then when they change it and turn it off, it's like, man, like I don't know, like this movie is just, I mean, we talked about the long takes and the intricacies of it, but that's the best way I can describe this movie. It's just very everything is very intricate.
Everything's
piece,
intentional. Like
everything is
that
just,
light behind Julianne Moore is to show you that she's Jesus in the movie. They kill
That's a good point.
the religious fundamentalist people kill Jesus because they don't think that a peaceful mode is the way to handle
Holy
the problem.
shit, dude. You're
So they
right.
come in
I
to
didn't even
destroy
put that
her
together either.
to start the uprising.
He's
right?
right.
Like
He's
they're
absolutely
just
right.
evangelicals who want to bring on the apocalypse.
He's so good at movies.
Well, he did say this is his favorite movie, so
I have
I
watched it a few
suspect that
times.
he watched it a couple of times.
You got a
It's
whole
like when Superman. Everybody's doing the thing with his arms.
or Robot Cop.
Yeah.
Robert Kopp.
Uh,
For a
so
movie that's so like meticulous, it comes across as
there
very
goes.
natural. Like
Okay.
You all right? Hold on.
it's it doesn't seem at all like stagey because all the handheld shots and stuff.
You all right, bro?
You okay? Yeah, we're almost done anyway.
Yeah. I didn't like that fucking chair anyhow.
Maybe you can use this one. I'll just stay up since we're almost done.
Yeah.
All right.
Hit Sean with that.
Moving on.
Still folds.
So wait, so here's what's weird, real quick. You know how you said this movie lost to Pan's Labyrinth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This same director was a producer on Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, well, he's double dipping.
Well,
Yeah.
I think him and Del Toro are buddies.
Are they friends or am I racist?
This is the third time tonight.
Oh yeah. Well, I also got him confused with the director of The Revenant. It's two different people.
Oh, did he not direct that?
No, but the same cinematographer.
Oh, okay.
on both.
That's
Well, makes sense.
Inarritu.
He's the one that directed the black and white movie on Netflix. That
No,
original.
that was him.
That's him.
That's,
okay.
Alphonse.
Yeah, that's correct.
I liked Roma. a lot.
It's okay if I mix up Hispanic people.
All right.
Old Al Curian.
Let's get into Five Knuckle Shuffles, shall we? We got to give it to our special guest, Nasty Nate.
The guy who knows everything about movies.
With his
He gives
nasty
He
opinion.
gives it a 1.
Yeah. This is
I hate this piece of shit. It's my favorite movie. And it's a 1. That's how much I hate movies.
I give it my highest rating.
Movies fucking suck.
You eat shit.
That's how Nate talks too, by the way.
When he's not on microphone, it's not that.
this is all.
When are we gonna see some
character.
tits?
I mean, this movie does have two.
It does
in
have
it.
titty.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has actually multiple because there's cows too.
Oh, that's right.
But the movie's a 10. It's easily a 10.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
it's beautiful. It holds up still. I haven't actually watched it in like 5 or 6 years, and it really still looks good. And that was the one thing that I was kind of obsessing over. Was what's gonna look CG? What's gonna look?
Mhm.
I couldn't
busted?
even tell.
It
that it was
everything
CG.
feels real. Like we remarked, someone mentioned like all the tech, all the near future technology stuff
Perfect.
tracks perfectly. Where it's like, oh yeah, in 3 actual years, everything will look exactly like this.
I mean, they kind of nailed it, right? Like just in that office scene where they have like flat screen monitors. That's like
Yeah.
really
The only thing they didn't nail is the
cell
readily
phones.
availability of cell phones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
people have
Yeah.
cell phones, but everybody has like an Alexa thing that has a little mini
Yeah.
screen on it.
When
I think
I,
in 2006, cell phones were pretty prevalent, were they not? Like I had a
Yeah.
cell phone in 2006.
yeah, but also like
I don't think I had a smartphone though.
Yeah, it's pre-
Smart does,
pre-
it's
iPhone,
pre-smartphone.
But I
iPhone
also
was
could
07,
see
I think.
like a drop line of dialogue somewhere where the government has like cracked down on.
Oh,
people
that's
having
true. Like
phones and-
infrastructure has sort of fallen to pieces.
Yeah.
Maybe the satellites.
I mean, they
that
never
use them
they
are-
never said
right.
it, but like I
Did
could
you
easily
ever,
see
when you
that.
brought up the book, and I think we got kind of sidetracked, but did you ever bring up the point about how in the book they but they hold puppies and kittens in very high regard because they
Yeah.
can't have children?
Yeah,
Did you actually say that?
we said that.
I died.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a 10. It's also just scary because it's really close to reality.
I honestly,
And
it made me uncomfortable. Like,
No, I
like,
mean, it feels
I mean,
like
we
it feels
said,
like in our lifetime this is a thing we will experience
Well,
and wake up to.
between
You know what I mean?
like the rounding people into cages and like again with all the just this week all the talk about the fucking border.
Oh,
and
it just
illegals.
occurred to me that the lady's name is Key, like the key to
Yeah.
future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that
Movie
and
gets a,
and
movie gets
again
a
like
6.
the parallels to Gaza is like it made I know the movie's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, but like it's too close to being real. Like it's
Yeah.
just but anyway. Okay, so 10 from Nate. Pass the mic, my friend.
Ooh, Gogs.
It's gonna be a 10 for me too. It's like if you told me coming into this, I was probably thinking it was gonna be in 7 territory because I remember liking it, but I didn't like Jesus Christ.
Yep, I like.
I liked it.
I ding you too.
I remember liking it, but I didn't remember like I remember how beautiful.
liking it.
I didn't like it, right? I remember how beautiful this movie is. It is shot just gorgeous. Clive Owen is so good in this movie. Everyone's good in this movie. Clive Owen though is like Clive Owen.
He's very believable. He
Yeah,
doesn't do anything
that's a good way to
super
put
like
it.
heroic.
No, he's very it's
He does get loose with that car battery.
he does, but like what's
Dude, he wrecks that dude. With that
he's
fucking-
But he looks so surprised in himself
Yeah,
after he does it.
right.
Too. He's able to pull off like this is a guy who was punching the clock
Yeah.
in the dreariest possible reality where there's absolutely no
Yeah.
future.
you're good with words. What's the guy who's like the reluctant hero, right? He doesn't want any of
The
this.
reluctant hero.
Yeah, that's
You
it. I'm in the Nate field of good words.
But also, like, I feel like it's
The storyboards are painted.
oh wow.
Of course they are.
The
Hell yes.
believability of him being in the middle of a war zone. I don't think I've ever seen a movie where like it's been treated so seriously, right? Like it's not like a Jackie Chan movie where
Right,
it's
but,
like,
but he's not like fucking like
right.
Luke duking over
That's what I'm
barriers.
saying,
It's not
yeah.
like he's not like you don't hear like
No, he is
I need a
terrified.
hero. He is scared
Yeah.
the entire time, and he's doing it. It's fucking brilliant. It's
He
a
does
10.
a backflip and hit a gritty.
Right.
None of
The flaw face.
none of the Warzone stuff aligns us with any side, right?
Right, yeah.
We don't have to deal with that patriotism shit that goes into every other war movie
Well, you're not
and
even.
makes every other war zone tainted with like, oh, there's good guys,
It does
bad
have
guys.
that ground level feel because you're not really even sure who the belligerents in this particular conflict
I don't think they are.
They're like,
Right, yeah.
there's some vague, Arabic sect, and then there's some vague military of
Yeah.
some sort, and then there's refugees, and like who knows?
No, it's like and like is the uprising different than the fish?
I think the
so.
uprising
Yeah.
is the more religious people.
Or it's like the more
and I
it's the
think
more
that's what
militant
Luke was
more,
in. I think
yeah.
Luke was an uprising person who infiltrated
Yeah,
the Julianne Moore's fish group.
Yeah, I
By the
think
way,
you're right.
It's a fucking 10. It's brilliant. It's better than I remembered it, and it's terrifyingly. I guess it's not prescient anymore. It's fucking terrifyingly just now.
Yeah.
TJ.
It's also a 10. I loved it. I'd love to interview my younger self and ask what I didn't like about the movie. If I had to like nitpick, and again, this is probably what I thought back then, but I don't know. I kind of, because this is just how I am. You guys know how I am. I kind of would have ended the movie before the boat shows up.
Yeah,
I like just the idea of her.
Adrift.
you're
Yeah.
a grim, sad human
Yeah,
being. Like I
that's-
get it. I probably would have done the
You
same
want a
thing.
missed ending, or
That-
not a quite missed ending?
Well, I
but
mean, like, I like the idea that
it could
like,
go either way.
it could go either way. Like, I like the idea of keeping
Or
that.
maybe the guys in the boats also have guns and they draw it down,
See,
and then it just
yeah.
cuts.
Well, that's the thing. The movie doesn't end in a positive way necessarily.
That's
Yeah.
true. You don't
He
really.
is as vulnerable as possible.
Right.
You don't
She's
know
in
the
a rowboat holding a baby.
You
That's
have
a-
no idea what
It's
these
a
people
fair
want.
point. You don't
like-
know the intention of the people in the boat, but I think, like, again, I don't have a problem with it now. But I can see me. Again,
Is
if
this
I
a-
wrote the movie, I would have probably made it a little more
Is
ambiguous.
this a
I think,
Series
like,
7 issue? Like, remember when you
Little
thought
bit.
you didn't like, and then
Yeah.
you turned.
oh
to the
yeah,
ending?
no. When I thought the alternate ending was way better,
Yeah.
and it's not. It's
Yeah.
actually way worse. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, but I love this movie. Like, it's fucking great. I love, like Sean said it earlier, but like, and we have our disagreements on Civil War, but one of the things I liked about Civil War, plot notwithstanding, was the combat in that movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was done really well. It's way better in this.
Yeah.
But like, this is like on another level. Like, this is like filmmaking. Like, this is like a master class in staging, in just the visual effects, in the use of, like, again, the sound design. Like, I'd love to watch this in a theater again, because the sound design,
the lack of score.
so good. And then the use of,
If you hear this in surround sound, there's probably bullet noises going on
so
all
good.
over.
But
you.
then also earlier in the film, you have really clever song usage. Like, they use like real world songs early on in the movie. And I like how they fade away. Like, there's none of that
Yeah.
once you get past a certain point in the movie. And I think, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but like, I took it as kind of like we're drifting away from our humanity, right? Like, we remember all these parts of our past, but as you get further and further away, it gets quieter and quieter,
Right.
and all you hear is gunfire and tanks and all that shit. I think it's just brilliant. And like Nate's pointed out like several times, like, there's just so many little fucking details. Like, one of the things I love the most right before the ending is the fucking, like, the fact that the 2 fucking fighter jets fly in
Yeah.
and just bomb that
Because
whole
Sid was
area.
even like, he's like, we gotta get you. He's like, we're gonna get you out of here.
I mean, they
for his own reasons, but like it's happening now, so they're gonna bomb this.
Right.
I mean, they literally just assumed
They decided
they
that's enough.
vaporized that whole area, and it's like, again,
Also, you're to understand that they just vaporized their own troops. Most of
They
them.
didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't, there was no
Yeah.
pull-out order.
yeah, that's a.
They didn't have to pull out anymore because no more kids.
Hey, yeah, it's a 10. This movie is absolutely. This movie's absolutely brilliant. There's no weak parts to it. The whole cast is great. Everyone, top to down. There's not a bad performance in the whole thing.
Coast to coast.
It's like butter and toast.
Again, it moves so well. Like, I loved it. It's a 10. Alec,
Alec,
It's a 10.
Hell yeah.
dude, this
Oh,
movie
this is gonna be a
this movie
surprise.
is certified good ass movie.
It's
This
like
might
the
be our
highest
highest
rated movie
because we
ever.
got 5
'cause we
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's the first one to get a 50.
I don't know. Nate was on the Jaws episode. Jaws probably got a 50.
Jaws doesn't count.
Jaws and Children of Men.
This movie fucking slaps.
Well, you love your post-apocalyptic movies too.
Yeah.
This-
Oh, yeah.
This is like, put this in my veins.
It's a good movie for
yeah.
sad boys.
Budget of $76 million,
Okay.
made 70.
Oh
Wow.
It's a shame.
That is-
Yeah.
I can see people
And,
not
like,
liking this movie at all.
Well, it's a downer.
Yeah.
But like, it didn't do well with like awards, but like critics lists and like ratings and shit. It's like,
very well regarded.
Can I get in? This is usually Alec's job, but I'll do it since you're doing your thing. Nominated for Best Picture this year: The Departed, Letters from Iwo Jima, Little Miss Sunshine, The Queen.
Yeah. Did he get a Best Picture nod?
Mm-mm.
That's
It's
disgusting.
still, it's still in that window. Like we're going into Iraq and Afghanistan when this movie is coming out.
Yeah.
And this movie is making a distinct point about how that's a bad path to go
The
down.
Departed isn't even the best movie of itself.
Yeah,
It's the second best of itself.
And The Queen, a movie that no one's thought about in fucking decades.
this movie slaps. I'm gonna go find the book and read the book this week.
Hell yeah. See, this movie's so good. It
Stay
made
tuned
Alex
for Alex
gay.
book report.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the last day of Pride, so.
And I
Get all
want to
your
watch.
reading
I want to
now.
watch. I want to watch Shoot 'Em Up. Because Shoot 'Em Up
Oh,
has
shoot 'em up rocks.
a similar premise where Clive Owen
Oh,
protecting
it's
a
a
baby,
baby.
protecting a baby
Nice.
from evildoers.
The Clive Owen baby
Paul
protection.
Giamatti, if I remember.
Yeah,
Paul
Paul
Giamatti
Giamatti.
is eating like who's eating carrots the
It's
whole time?
Clive Owen.
Yeah,
It's
And,
Bugs Bunny.
that's good for your eyesight.
Monica Bellucci is the
Oh, yeah.
Milkmaid or whatever she is.
Hello.
yeah.
Sure
she's
is.
like a
Wood Mersh.
Oh, careful. I had the Monica Bellucci dream.
No, I didn't go yet.
Sean.
It's 6. No, it's just, I'm just a hater. I'm like Armand White, or that guy that gave Toy Story 3, like, what was it? Was it Toy
I
Story?
think it was Toy Story 4.
Uh,
I don't know.
No, that movie's fucking perfect. Like, there's no fat. Like, it just goes. You're mostly affected. You know a lot about the characters without having to know really anything about them. Like, it's gorgeous. It's propulsive. You know exactly. I don't know if we talked about it on here, but we talked about it during the geography in movies like this is very hard to nail sometimes. But because and Nate's brought it up, Gogs has brought it up. You're so tight to. I almost called him Gerard Butler again. To Clive Owen. That you know
So weird.
exactly
He's
where
not-
you are
he's
at
nothing
all
like
times.
Clive Owen.
There's very few.
British and dark-haired
There's very
He's
few.
like Irish or Scottish,
Scottish, I
or
think.
something. Yeah.
from an island.
They're technically British. There's very few
Hot take.
establishing shots.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is
Yeah.
usually bad in a
Sure.
movie like this when you're in a cityscape. But again, and the fact that you don't know exactly where they are in relation to necessarily everything on the outside doesn't matter because everyth's a bottle. Like, it's not a bottle movie, but
Yeah.
once you get in there, it bottlenecks you into where, and that's where a lot of that tension comes from. Once you get through the gates, so like the language of cinema, right? They're kind of wide open everywhere. So they get a very tiny car, they get there, and then they get in that gate. And once they're in that gate, they're in a tunnel to wherever they're going for the rest
To
of
the
the
end
movie.
of the film. Yeah.
And all the long takes in this movie are so effective because a lesser movie would try to create chaos by
Right.
just chopping the shit out of
Well,
it.
that's the other thing.
Liam
too,
Neeson
like,
doesn't.
this movie
Yeah.
doesn't have like a lot of like shaky cam. Like there's hand cam
Yeah.
stuff in here, but it's not obnoxious.
No,
It's natural. Like,
Yeah.
what you would feel like walking
Right.
through this.
No, I think this is perfect. Like, this is definitely the peak of his movies. Like, and that's fair. Like, you're not going to make 2 of these.
No.
So,
Good shout out to Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah, he's very.
His Harry Potter movie is excellent.
That's
Yeah.
what everybody said.
Which one did he do?
It's
Prisoner of
Black, right?
Azkaban, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the darkest
The
one.
third one, yeah.
We did it.
One of these days, I'll get around to watching those movies.
He did that before. Oh, I didn't realize that was. I was surprised
Surprised we
came
haven't
out
done a
before
Harry
this.
Potter month.
Come up with a month, man.
But how we
Harry
aren't
Potter
there like
month.
7 of those movies?
Yeah, we just have to watch. We just have to
It's
watch
like
4 of them.
We can do
That's
seasons
half of them.
like non-consecutive though.
I mean, we watched. There was more Saw movies than we had.
The
this month.
Saw isn't a continuing narrative.
that's
I
a
don't
fair
think.
point.
The Saw.
That is a fair point.
Mother, the Nintendo.
Nice.
All right. So what's next? Whose pick is it next week? This was my pick, right? I think it was. Yeah.
I have a pick.
Alec,
Go for it.
Seventh Son.
What the hell is that?
Fucking witches.
Oh, she's in that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think she's in most of that, right?
Yeah, she's like the evil sorceress.
No! Oh my God! We get to watch friggin' Rooster Cogburn Witch Hunter. Oh my God!
Is Vin Diesel in that?
No, he's in The Last Witch Hunter, which we smash together pretty regularly.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Well,
Fucking
next
witches.
week, Seventh Son. Fucking witches.
Brace yourself.
Bye,
man.
everybody.
Probably not
we
going to
gotta-
be as good as this week.
Happy
We
Pride.
gotta do the Lube Up Boys since we're live.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
sign
Don't forget
off.
the Lube Up Boys
Yeah.
for Pride.
Each
Yeah,
their own
sure.
ass.
Go.
Oh, yeah, we don't say each your own ass anymore.
Yeah, we lost that. We lost the thread. Now it's back, baby.
Fine, America.
Your catchphrases have to evolve over time.
That is true.
That's just part of having a live
Oh, Nate,
podcast.
Nate, anything to plug?
Oh, listen to Debut Buddies. That's my podcast.
Or as I like to call it, the butt buddies.
Yeah.
We'll cut that too. Goodbye, everybody.